Good morning, students. So in the last class I explained about codominancy. The specific example for codominancy is human blood groups. So what is codominancy? So codominancy is nothing but the alleles of a gene in the heterozygous condition which express themselves equally in the F1 generation. That too, when the gene is in heterozygous condition, the alleles of that gene express equally in the F1 generation. That is called as codominancy. So here the RBC in the blood, that too there are different types of antigens, that is glycoproteins, or we can say glucopolymers. So here the different RBCs that is responsible to determine ABO blood typing. Actually Karl Landsteiner who described this ABO blood typing. ABO blood typing. This was mainly given by Karl Landsteiner. Karl Landsteiner, who discovered the human blood groups. So as we know, the gene called as isohemoagglutinogen that determines the different RBCs for the ABO blood typing. That isohemoagglutinogen gene is dominant, and generally the RBC membrane, that is cell membrane or plasma membrane, which is protruded by the glycoprotein, that is called as antigen. If that RBC membrane having the glycoprotein or an antigen A, and in the plasma of that individual the antibody B is present. So here there is a difference between A and B, A antigen as well as B antibody, and the blood group of the individual becomes A. That means the human blood group is purely based on the glycoprotein which is present in the RBC membrane. That determines the human blood group. If that RBC membrane that having a glycoprotein or antigen B, in the plasma they possess what? Antibody A. Now the blood group of the individual is B. If the RBC membrane that having both the type of glycoproteins, that is antigen A as well as antigen B, so in such individuals the plasma without any antibodies, that is AB. Now the RBC membrane without any glycoprotein or an antigen, in such individuals the plasma contains both the antibodies A and B. Then the blood group of an individual is called as O. From this we can notice two important concepts. One blood group without antibody and another blood group without any antigen. So the blood group without antibody is called as AB, isn't it? Which is called as antibodyless blood group. Antibodyless blood group is AB, and antigenless blood group is O. Now, by this, because of the absence of antibody, AB blood group persons can receive blood from all the blood groups. Therefore, they are called as universal receptors. They can receive the blood from all the 4 blood groups A, B, AB and O. And O blood group persons, because of the absence of antigen, they are called as universal donors. Because they can donate blood all, because there is no any antigen. So there is one principle that we should employ before blood transfusion. This is fixed question. What that principle is employed before blood transfusion and what that states? That is the serum. What is serum? Serum means blood without any clotting protein. No fibrinogen. That is called as serum. That is plasma minus what? The clotting protein. That is called as serum. The serum of the recipient should not produce any antibody against the antigen of the donor. Serum of the recipient should not produce any antibody against the RBC antigens of the donor. So that is the principle which is employed before blood transfusion. So here the AB blood group persons can receive blood from all the blood groups because this is without any antibody. So there is no scope. The serum of the recipient, no antibodies here. O group persons can donate blood because there is no antigen. What this principle state? Antibodies of the recipient should not be what against to the RBC antigens. Here no antigens. Therefore, no agglutination. What is agglutination? Clumping of blood. What is agglutination or agglutination? It is nothing but clumping of blood. When the clumping of blood or agglutination takes place, the reaction between antigen and antibody, that is a reaction between agglutinin and agglutinogen, antigen antibody reaction. When there is incompatibility between the antigen and antibody, then that result in clumping of blood, that is called as agglutination. Reaction between antigen and antibody or agglutinin and agglutinogen, that result in clumping of blood. So that is called as agglutination. So that is what about the human blood groups. Now here 4 phenotypic blood groups. How many phenotypic blood groups are there? 4. A, B, AB and O. But I gene, how many allelic forms are there? 3. And how many genotypic blood groups? Phenotypically 4 but genotypically 6, because A blood group person may be homozygous A or it may be heterozygous A. In the same way, B person may be homozygous B as well as heterozygous. But as we know, the 2 blood groups that not shows more than one genotype, they having only one genotype which are those blood groups? AB and O. AB blood group is always in the heterozygous nature. That is called as codominant blood group, because in presence of homozygous A and homozygous B blood group, O group becomes recessive, and the O group is always in the homozygous recessive condition. So genotype is only one for the O and one for the AB, but in A and B blood groups we can observe 4 genotypes. Now, so totally 6 genotypic blood groups, phenotypically 4. So here for the assignment, so majority of the students, they fail to answer for these questions, that is the 12th and 13th question, isn't it? So when the baby or a neonatal is missed in a hospital, maternity home, the blood group of the baby is or a neonatal is O. Identify the blood group of the parents. That means the baby can hand over to the parents whether they are having A blood group, B, AB or O. And one thing here, the blood group of the parent that not similar to the baby blood group. That means it is not O blood group. So here the possibilities are different. So here the blood group of the baby is O. What is the genotype of the parents? That means if the parents are A, that is father is A, mother is A. Here we may expect both A and O when the parents are heterozygous A. Father is heterozygous A, mother is also heterozygous A. Here the inheritance may be A or it may be what? O. That means the baby blood group is O. That means the parents' genotype may be heterozygous A. This is one thing. If the parents' genotype is heterozygous B, here also O group we may expect, isn't it? And when the parents are heterozygous A and B, not homozygous, heterozygous A and B, both the parents should be heterozygous. If one parent is homozygous, another parent is heterozygous, there is even no inheritance of the O group. So here heterozygous A and mother is heterozygous B. So here you may expect AB or it may be what? A or it may be what? B and O. That means the blood group of the neonat may be AB, A, B or O. So there is chance of O inheritance. Therefore we can hand over the baby to the parents having heterozygous what? A, heterozygous B blood group, or the parents may be heterozygous A and heterozygous B. This is one problem, isn't it? And the last question, that is the baby with a particular blood group, but it is not inherited, that the blood group of the baby is not present in the parents. That means you should identify the genotype of the parent. Whatever the blood group which is present in the parent, which is not inherited to the baby. So what is the blood group of the parents there? For example, here father is AB, father is AB, and the mother is O. Mother is which blood group? O. So A blood group and O. So AB and O. Here we cannot expect either AB or O in the children, because here the baby may receive either A or it may be B, even not AB or O. So here totally the variation we can observe. So here the parents are AB and O. In such condition, either of the parental blood group is inherent to their children. This is one problem. This is always very important for the application question. So this is what about the codominancy. So next to this codominancy. Now sometimes what happened, the single gene product, there is a single gene, that single gene product that may regulate the expression of many characters. That means single gene which may regulate or which may control the expression of the many characters, that is called as pleiotropic genes. What are pleiotropic genes? Pleiotropic genes means the single gene product which control or which regulate the expression of many characters. So that is single gene which may control many characters. Many characters of an organism is under the control of only one gene. Such genes are called as pleiotropic genes. What are pleiotropic genes? The single gene product which can control or which can regulate the expression of many characters of an organism. That kind of genes are called as pleiotropic genes. Which is the example for this? That is starch synthesis in pea seed. Which is the example for these pleiotropic genes? This is very important question for 2 marks. So give an example for pleiotropism or pleiotropic gene, that is the starch synthesis in pea seeds. So generally this pleiotropic gene, that is the allele of that gene, is present in 2 forms. One is capital B, another one is small b. That means the alleles of this pleiotropic gene which is dominant, that is denoted as capital B, this is capable of synthesizing more starch in the pea seed. That means the pea seed is large with more quantity of starch and seed shape is round. What is the shape of the seed now? That is round. Whenever the pea seed is large size with round in shape, that means that seed having more starch that is always under the control of this allele, that is B, capital B. That means whenever it is in homozygous condition. Okay. Now, when the alleles of that gene is recessive, that is in the homozygous recessive condition, so this small v is what? Recessive. Now, in this homozygous recessive condition, P seed is small with less starch and seed shape is wrinkled. Whenever the pea seed is small and wrinkled, that means that small wrinkled pea seed with the less starch, because that is controlled by the recessive gene. That means in such seeds, the genes are recessive. The alleles of a gene which are homozygous recessive condition, therefore that cannot synthesize more starch, hence the seed shape is what? Wrinkled and the size is small. When the alleles of that pleiotropic gene is in heterozygous condition, one is dominant, another one is recessive. Here what happened? Medium or moderate size of the seed. That is moderate size of the seed, and seed is round only. Seed is round, but it is medium size or moderate size, and also there is moderate starch, because that is in heterozygous condition. By this we can say, so this pleiotropic genes that are not universal, it is not of universal in occurrence. So this is about what? Pleiotropic genes. Now, so the next is, so here the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Next concept is what? Chromosomal theory of inheritance. Now, why Mendel work is failed? As we know, Gregor John Mendel, who was the pioneer in the field of genetics and who is the first person to propose the basic laws of inheritance called as the Mendelian principles, that are the law of segregation as well as the law of independent assortment, isn't it? The law of what? Segregation as well as law of independent assortment. Here, he actually proposed this in 1865. So I already explained all the concepts. So actually he started the experiments in 1856, then in 1863, and later on in 1865 the final result of that was reported. isn't it? In 1865, he published the results. But that results or whatever the principles that was given by the Mendel, it was not widely published. What are the reasons why Mendelian thoughts is not identified? What are the reasons for the failure of the Mendelian thoughts? That is, the first thing is, what are the reasons for the failure of the Mendelian thoughts? Why the identity of the Mendelian thoughts was not published? So the first thing is, during those days, the communication, it was very weak. So during that time, in the 18th century, the communication was very weak. It is not like the present communication. So one is what? Communication. During those time, the communication, it was not so fast. It was very weak. As a result of that weak communication, so there is no wide publicity. So that leads to the failure of the wide publicity. Failure of wide publicity. Failure of the wide publicity is due to what? The very weak communication during those days. That is first one. And the second one is, so here Mendel, who explained the concepts of alleles. The concept of the allele given by the Mendel as stable, but the discrete units which are responsible to regulate the characters of an organism which do not blend. So that concept, it was not accepted by the contemporaries, because whatever the concept given by the Mendel as an explanation for the apparently expression of the variations which are present in the nature, that are not accepted by the contemporaries. That is, the concepts of alleles as stable and discrete units, which are called as discrete units, called as factors or genes, which do not blend. These never mix. That do not blend is not accepted by the contemporaries. So here, whatever the concept of the allele as well as discrete units that was given by the Mendel, that was not accepted by the contemporaries as an explanation for the apparently expressive what? Wild, or we can say natural variations. This is also one what thing. So whatever the variations that are naturally present, so that is what main concept. And the third one, Mendel was the first person to use mathematical skill as well as statistical analysis to express the results of the hybridization that was very new to the biologist, and that new concept is not accepted by the biologists of that time. They are not aware of that mathematical knowledge or the statistical analysis, whatever that was given by the Mendel for the first time, that is not accepted. That is also one of the what loss of identity. And the fourth main thing is responsible for the Mendelian acceptance is Mendel, who failed to provide the physical proof for the behavior as well as what? Existence of the gene. So here Mendel failed to what? Failed to express or failed to give the proof for the physical proof, we can say physical proof for the existence of factors or genes. So Mendel failed to give the physical proof for the existence of the gene. So the first thing is what? During those days, during 18th century, the communication was it was very weak. It is not fast as the present communication. As a result, there was the wide publicity of the Mendelian thoughts. That is one thing. And second thing, whatever the concept that was given by the Mendel, that is the Mendelian concepts of alleles as stable and discrete units which regulate the expression of the characters that do not blend, that was not accepted by the contemporaries as an explanation for the apparently which are present in the nature, that variations present in the nature or in a natural conditions. And the third is, for the first time Mendel used the mathematical logics as well as statistical analysis to express the results of his experiments called as hybridization, that was very new to the biologists of that time. Therefore, they not accepted that. And the fourth one is Mendel failed to provide the physical proof for the existence of the factors or the genes which can regulate the expression of each and every character of an organism. So that is what the major one. By all these, the Mendelian principles are not widely published or not accepted. Then in the 19th century, what happened? the three famous European genetists. They were called as Corins, Tashmark, as well as Hugo Duris. Hugo Duris and Corins and Tashmark. They rediscovered the Mendelian principles. Therefore, they were commonly called as rediscoverers of Mendelism. So, among the rediscoverers, Corins who discovered the law of dominancy and he proposed the phenomenon called as incomplete dominancy. Who disproved that law of dominancy in case of Snapdragon, and he proposed semi-dominancy or an incomplete dominancy, which is deviated from the Mendelian principle. Now in the 19th century, these three famous European genetics, they rediscovered the Mendelian principles. They were called as rediscoverers of Mendelism. Now, in this 19th century, with the invent of the different types of optical instruments, the microscope. With the invention of the different types of microscope, by that they made the detailed study of the cell division. With the invent of microscope, they made the detailed study of cell division. By that cell division, they observed. It is possible to observe the colored bodies which are present inside the nucleus, and they call that as chromosomes. With the invent of the different types of microscope, and it is possible to observe cell division. By that invention of the microscope, they observe the cell division, and also it is possible to observe some colored bodies inside the nucleus that are nothing but the chromosomes. Later, they even observe the movement of the chromosomes during meiosis. The movement of the chromosomes during which cell division? During the meiosis. So, during meiosis, they even observe this, not only the cell division and the movement of the chromosomes. So here mainly the two genetists called as Walter Sutan as well as Theodore Boveri, they proposed the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Here, the Theodore Boveri as well as Walter Sutan, they noticed what? Sutan and Boveri, they noticed the behavior of the chromosomes parallel to the what? Behavior of the genes. So for the first time they observed that the behavior of the chromosomes that are what? Parallel to the behavior of the what genes, and also they use the chromosomal movements to explain Mendelian principles. And used what? They used chromosomal movements to explain Mendelian or Mendel principles. So here the Walter Sutin as well as Theodore Boveri noticed the behavior, that is both the chromosomes and the genes behavior is similar. They notice the behavior of the chromosome is parallel to the behavior of the genes, and also they use the chromosomal movements during the cell division to explain the Mendelian principles. That is, the combination of both this is called as chromosomal theory of inheritance. So these are the main concepts why the Mendelian principles are not widely accepted or that were not noticed. So that is due to the weak communication and whatever the concept of alleles as stable and also discrete units, which is mainly responsible for the determination or expression of characters which do not blend, that was not accepted by the contemporaries. And also whatever the mathematical logics as well as statistical analysis used by the Mendel for the first time, that was very new to the biologists of that time. And finally what? That is the Mendel who failed to what? Mainly to show the physical proof for the existence of the genes. All that led to the what? Failure of the publicity of the Mendel. Who are regarded as rediscoverers of Mendelism? They were called as Hugo de Vries, Corey as well as Tashma. Corey only who disproved the law of dominancy, then proposed the incomplete dominancy.